following program on KROC is sponsored and paid for by Meshbesher Spence.
Andrew Davick joins us this morning. Andrew, good to see you.
Good morning to both of you.
I understand we're going hunting today.
We're going hunting.
All right.
Are you a hunter?
Not now. I have a lot of friends that still hunt. As a kid, briefly when we lived in South Dakota, my father was a big pheasant hunter.
Pheasant hunter, yeah. If you're going to be hunting out there, that's what you're going for.
Yep, absolutely.
So why are we talking about hunting?
Well, two slightly
besides it
unrelated
being the hunting season.
Yeah, two slightly unrelated concepts. One, well, true, it's the hunting season. But there's two types of claims that I see that come out of the hunting season. One is the, of course, hunting accident where Joe Muckin, whatever, shoots his buddy while hunting. They're not paying attention. They're not being safe. And we see those claims.
Accidents happen.
Sometimes accidents happen, but accidents can also be prevented.
Sure.
So, whether that's making sure that you're wearing your blazed orange, making sure you're visible to other hunters.
Going through a gun safety course.
Making sure when you're hunting up north and you can use a rifle for deer hunting that you know what's beyond you and beyond the area in which you are discharging your weapon. Our firm has handled those cases where one hunter has shot another hunter who he had no idea was there. So there are things such as that you have to be very cautious with, otherwise you run the risk of injuring others.
Right.
All right, and you say there's two parts.
Yeah, and the second part, completely unrelated, but what you do see this time of year during the hunting season is you see more wildlife on the roads as well. So you see more deer out and about.
They're scurrying around.
They're crossing roadways, and one of the big things I can tell people is be careful. And it's not necessarily for the vehicle that makes contact with the deer. It's for the vehicle that is driving behind, making sure that you are leaving ample space, ample opportunity, should that emergency present itself, to avoid that potential bad car accident.
Yeah, we've talked in the past about you don't want to try to veer away. Usually more damage is caused when you try to avoid hitting the deer that might be running across. I mean, that's your natural instinct.
Well, it's your natural instinct, absolutely.
But you've got to kind of plan ahead and realize, something might run out here.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it, too, is the vehicles around you. If you're a vehicle behind another car driving at night on a county road, make sure you leave ample opportunity if that vehicle in front of you were to brake or have an emergency that's presented with a deer crossing the roadway, that you make sure that you have opportunity to stop and don't come into contact with the rear of that other vehicle.
Plus you veer off, try to avoid the deer, and you're successful, but then you find that tree.
Oh, jeez.
Or
the second deer. It's always true. The second deer you got to watch out for.
But, I mean, if you don't hit a critter, all of a sudden you didn't, it wasn't a deer that caused this. It was you ran off the road.
Absolutely.
You got no proof.
Absolutely. As an example, it's not a deer this time. I'm talking about a pheasant case. I actually handled a pheasant case where a gentleman who lived in Owatonna was driving down the roadway. A bunch of pheasants came out of a corn field. He made the decision that he could have veered right or left. They were actually coming at him. He said it was quite a crazy little event. He chose to let him hit the windshield. Of course, that caused a lot of damage. A pheasant will do a lot of damage to a windshield.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately for him, the guy in the pickup right behind him didn't see and wasn't paying attention and hit him from the rear. So although he avoided other injury by not hitting a tree, not going in the ditch, and doing some damage, it turned out that the vehicle behind him caused a lot of damage.
Well, but who had the claim there then? The guy that was in the pickup truck was in the wrong.
Yep. We brought the claim against the guy in the pickup truck because he should have been in a position that he would have had ample opportunity to stop if this emergency presented itself. But as to your point, too, if you're dealing with a passenger situation, so you got a passenger in a vehicle and you take evasive action, be cautious, be smart, understand, your vehicle, and you have to be able to still maintain control of that vehicle because, like you said, sometimes you're better off striking the critter than you are going off the road.
In some of those areas, it makes more sense to just slow down, not have your cruise control on. I mean, some of those types of things. I know there are some people who always say, I can speed, it's no big deal. Everybody's got to stay out of my way. Well, except for there's so many things that can happen
Absolutely.
You might be the best driver in the world, but there's all kinds of things that can get tossed at you, including the person in front of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now you have road conditions, which are a consideration, too, with the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're in need of an attorney and need to get a hold of somebody at Meshbesher Spence, Andrew, how do they do that?
1-800-845-1021 or go to www.meshbesher.com.
Excellent. Have a great week.
You too.